I've made videos about Beyond Meat in the past, but today I'm going to be talking about a new fake meat that's going to be launching next month. It's called 𝗑𝙬𝗓, and its catchphrase is the opposite of chicken. I was reading an article on this company the other day, and honestly, it was just filled with so much hypocrisy that I knew I had to make a video on it. For example, they claim that their product is natural. It's fake chicken. How can that be natural? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate, I'm a health coach, and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. We'll get into the ingredients and all that in just a second, but first I wanted to address a comment that I've got a few times now whenever I talk about Beyond Meat or fake meat in general. That comment is that these products aren't meant to be healthy. Okay, well, let's first address Beyond Meat before we move on to 𝗑𝙬𝗓. On their mission page on their website, under Why Make Meat Out of Plants, the first reason listed is for human health. Our plant-based meats are made with intention. By combining expert innovation with simple, non-GMO ingredients, we deliver the meaty experience you crave without the compromise. Our products offer greater or equal protein levels to their animal counterparts, no cholesterol, less saturated fat, and no antibiotics or hormones. And 𝗑𝙬𝗓 also puts an emphasis on health, saying, 𝗑𝙬𝗓 is lean and clean, which is to say it's just like chicken, without the chicken. Every 2.5 ounce serving of the 𝗑𝙬𝗓 pieces contains 14 grams of protein, 0 milligrams of cholesterol, only 1.7 grams of fat, no antibiotics or animal hormones. So for anyone who thinks these products aren't meant to be healthy, they are. All right, I just want to get that out of the way, clear that out before we begin. To be clear, I do not think these fake meat products are healthy. 𝗑𝙬𝗓 does a good job of trying to spin all the ingredients in their product as natural, which I just think is so backwards. 𝗑𝙬𝗓 is an imitation chicken which replicates the taste and texture of the familiar fowl, and which is targeted specifically at people who love eating chicken. While many carnivores have reduced their red meat intake on health grounds, chicken has not similarly been caught in the firing line. After all, chicken breast is the cleanest protein on the market other than egg whites, admits McKay, age 28, one of 𝗑𝙬𝗓's two co-founders, referring to minimally processed food that is closest to its natural state and with high nutritional value. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First off, he's saying that chicken breasts and egg whites are the cleanest protein currently on the market. Is he throwing shade at Beyond Meat and other fake meat companies? Is he implying that Beyond Meat is not a clean source of protein? Then he says these foods, so chicken breasts and egg whites, are minimally processed food that's closest to its natural state. Okay, so what part of eating only an egg white or eating only chicken breast is natural? When you're eating only egg whites, you're literally separating it from the yolk and discarding it. Why? And I'm assuming he's referring to chicken breast without the skin as well. Ugh. It's just so backwards. Eggs are healthy, chicken is healthy, full stop. And this all goes back to the nutrition dogma that we have had drilled into us for the last few decades. The thinking that fat is bad, the thinking that saturated fat is bad, the thinking that cholesterol is bad. Now, not many people know this because it was done pretty quietly, but the 2015 US dietary guidelines actually dropped the upper limit recommended for dietary cholesterol. This was because there was no evidence at all backing the theory that high dietary cholesterol intake causes disease. And with the US dietary guidelines set to be revised this year, there's also speculation that the upper recommended limit of saturated fat will be dropped as well. This is from an article on nutritioncoalition.com. Leading scientists agree current limits on saturated fats no longer justified. Following a 2-day DC-based workshop entitled Saturated Fats, a Food or Nutrient Approach, a group of leading nutrition scientists, mainly from the US, released a consensus statement detailing their findings on the latest research regarding the intake of saturated fats and heart disease. After reviewing the evidence, the expert group agreed that the most rigorous and current science fails to support a continuation of the government's policy limiting consumption of saturated fats. Current dietary guidelines are based around fat and based around limiting fat. Foods low in fat are considered healthy, and foods high in fat are considered unhealthy. And that's basically what it comes down to. Sugar ends up getting a free pass. Okay, this is getting a little bit off topic, but here in Australia, there's actually this star rating system. So pretty much there's this little icon on all processed food, giving it a rating from 1 to 5 stars, or even I think half a star to 5 stars. But anyways, 5 stars being the healthiest and half a star being unhealthy. And it's actually almost ironic how horrible the system is. Milo, which is, I guess, the equivalent of Nesquik in the States, basically just chocolate that you add to milk, has a rating of 4.5 stars out of 5. It has almost 10 grams of sugar per scoop and contains maltodextrin, which is an even bigger impact on blood sugar than regular sugar is. A serve also only has 2.5 grams of protein, but at least it has less than 2 grams of fat, and that's all that matters, right? Anyway, back to daring. On their website, they have a frequently asked questions page, and one of the questions is daring processed? The truth is, almost everything we eat or drink, from yogurt to coffee, is the result of a combination of nature and science, often including things like blending, mixing, fermentation, or baking, which is to say, they're processed. Daring pieces are processed by mixing carefully selected ingredients derived from plants to create something unique and delicious. Mixing ingredients together? Is that all this product is? This is another quote from the article about daring and the process to create their product. The daring lab processors would start with soy flour, she says, and put it through a high-pressure system to push the air out and extrude the dense texture. They then line all the proteins inside of the soy flour and texturize them with pressure and steam and heat to create long, not too chewy strands. Sounds like a bit more than just mixing ingredients to me. Another question from the frequently asked questions page: what is daring made of? Daring is made from a few simple, natural ingredients and packed with plant protein. Here's the ingredient list: water, soy protein concentrate, sunflower oil, natural flavoring, spices, paprika, pepper, ginger, nutmeg, mace, cardamom, salt. In my Beyond Meat video, I went over some of these ingredients, so I'll just touch on them quickly here, and if you want to know more about them, you can check that video out after. Starting with soy protein, as I hinted at before, this protein actually has to go through a lot of processing. It is often extracted from the plant using hexane, which is a byproduct of petroleum. Hexane is a known neurotoxin. It's just not clear exactly how much of it is toxic. I think I will do a whole video on soy. I feel like I keep saying that, but I'll do it eventually because there's just so much wrong with it, especially how we consume it in the Western world. In places like Japan, when they eat soy, it's almost always fermented, and that's not the case in the Western world. Soy is also really high in anti-nutrients and phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens mimic estrogen in the body and can lead to hormone imbalances and disrupt thyroid function. Other anti-nutrients bind to minerals and stop their absorption, so it pretty much cancels out a lot of the nutritional value. And then we have sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is a type of vegetable oil, and vegetable oils, they're honestly one of the worst things we can consume. I don't even want to call them foods. I hate to sound like a broken record because I feel like I talk about how horrible vegetable oils are all the time, but pretty much the summary is these oils oxidize at really low temperatures. Also, when they are exposed to light and oxygen, consuming oxidized oils leads to oxidative stress in the body, and this plays a major part in the development of chronic and degenerative illness such as cancer, autoimmune disorders, aging, arthritis, heart disease, and more. Besides these oils being heated during processing, when you cook the final product, they're also going to be heated, obviously, and oxidize further. Sunflower oil is also really high in omega-6. It has about a 20:1 omega-6 to 3 ratio. Too much omega-6 in our diets leads to inflammation and chronic inflammation when we are consuming these oils day after day. Ideally, we want to aim for an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of 1:1. And vegetable oils are the #1 source of omega-6 in our diets. And then natural flavor. Natural flavor can literally be anything as long as it started out being a flavor from a plant or even an animal. Food scientists are allowed to add chemicals to this and other products, and they don't have to disclose what they are. Sometimes natural flavor can have up to 100 added ingredients. Now, someone actually brought up an interesting point when I talked about natural flavors in my Beyond Meat video. Because these flavors can originate from either a plant or an animal and they don't have to disclose the ingredients, could this natural flavor that's in these fake meat products actually not be vegan? It's possible. And I actually noticed that on Ds's website, they didn't make any claims about their product being vegan. They did say it was 100% plant-based, but because it is based on plants 100%, doesn't mean it is 100% plants? I don't know. I just thought that was interesting as well. Anyways, I think I will wrap this video up here. It will be interesting to see in the next month or so the response to this product. I did actually think that Beyond Meat had a mock chicken product, but when I looked on their website, they seem to have taken it down, discontinued it. I don't know exactly why that is. Was it maybe not selling well? Either way, that will be interesting for dairying, maybe either a good thing or a bad thing. Less competition, but if there's no demand for it, then that's not good for them, at least. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you think of all these fake meat companies that are popping up. Do you think it's a craze? Do you think they'll actually last? Let me know down below. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.